What's up, guys? Well, we have found ourselves in, was it Louisiana, with Mayor LaToya Cantrell. We'll see her history, and then we'll go and see what she's been up to lately. Also, I would like to note, 82% of people that watch these videos are not subscribed to the channel. Click the button and we'll move along. So, Office of Mayor LaToya Cantrell. On May 7th, 2018, LaToya Cantrell made history as New Orleans' first woman mayor in its 300-year history. After that historic victory, Mayor Cantrell was inaugurated to a second term January 10th, 2022. Her passion for the city of Yes and her dedication to its residents remain stronger than ever. So, first woman mayor, and first, I guess, I don't know, can't really tell, maybe black woman? The city of Yes, so I guess maybe it was going to be a yes. That was a joke. Anyway, in her first term as mayor, the Cantrell administration was pivotal in negotiations to pass fair share legislation securing $200 million over 5 years for infrastructure, as well as getting voter approval in 2019 for short-term rental visitor tax, and $500 million bond authorization. In 2020, she also became laser focused on protecting the public health and safety of the city's residents throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as demonstrating firsthand her commitment to creating a more equitable and safer New Orleans for all residents. Alrighty. 2021, the city of New Orleans, under Mayor Cantrell's leadership, achieved a critical milestone in selecting a developer for the former Six Flags site in New Orleans East, which has sat dormant for over 16 years. Has it? I didn't even realize. As a result of Hurricane Katrina. Wow, still 16 years. Seems like, they didn't. They want to put money in their own pocket. This symbolizes the administration's larger approach to leveraging city-owned assets and creating a more equitable and vibrant economy for all New Orleans residents and businesses. If she begins her second term, Mayor Cantrell remains focused on the issues of public safety, infrastructure, affordable housing, and improving the quality of life for all New Orleans residents. Oh, that's so sweet. That's so sweet. She wants to make life better for everybody. What's she doing now?
Breaking news, Justin. Our team is in place, and here's what we're following. At this hour in downtown New Orleans, a federal indictment is being read in federal court against New Orleans Mayor Cantrell and her former bodyguard, NOPD officer Jeffrey Vappy. So we're working to get more details. Meg Gatto, John Snell, our legal analyst Joe Responti joining us. So what does this mean when you get an indictment? It basically means a grand jury has seen evidence presented by federal prosecutors, and based on what they saw, they believe a crime has been committed. And this is not the first time we've seen these two high-profile names, guys.
And I think the interesting thing here is that it's mentioning Joe Responti, both the mayor and Jeffrey Vappy, which I don't want to get ahead of what we know, but that raises the possibility of perhaps a superseding indictment, since he had already been indicted.
Right. If Jeffrey Vappy is getting new counts against him, it is most probably what's known as a superseding indictment, which will follow his original indictment to that section of court. And if she is a co-defendant with him, it's all going in the same car.
So for background, and not to make this too confusing, this is the case in which he had been working or claiming time as the mayor's bodyguard, when in fact federal prosecutors were alleging that he had a personal relationship with the mayor. It was noteworthy at the time that the mayor had not been indicted in that case. This could imply that now she has been added in somehow and into that alleged conspiracy.
Right. We'll see which format, if any, they use, whether or not she's going to be named, if she is named, if there are other defendants possibly named with her and Vappy. So let's just wait and see what the indictment says.
Well, I was going to say, Joe, I think it's important to point out we do not know the specifics yet of what is in this federal indictment. Just to kind of explain how this all works, a federal grand jury made up of about 16 to 23 people from the 13 parishes surrounding Lake Pontchartrain. They have been meeting for months, going over evidence in this case. They took a vote today, and they decided to return this federal indictment. What happens then is the grand jurors, they actually leave the courtroom, and the foreperson goes with federal prosecutors to the magistrate judge. That is what is happening right now as we speak, and we are learning that this indictment has been handed up. A little bit later is when we will get a copy of the indictment to find out what exactly is in there. What are the charges? It'll lay out some of the details of this case. What are some of the charges that the mayor and Vappy, who was already indicted in July of last year, but again named today in this indictment, what some of the charges are that they face.
And this is from a month ago. And here in a minute, we'll go current day.
And in a case like this, you're probably wondering, well, what comes next? As Meg just laid out, it's called a bill of information, and that's what we're waiting to get all these details from to find out.
No, not necessarily. A bill of information sometimes would imply in the federal system that there's a guilty plea. So this would just be a regular indictment.
This is an indictment.
So there's
no
indictment, right?
A grand jury generates an indictment. The U.S. attorney generates a bill of information. This is an indictment, a bill of indictment, because it came from the grand jury.
But I think, to Liz's point, Joe, it's important out of fairness here to mention that the standard is a lot different when it comes to an indictment or a charge than it is for a jury. So here you have one of the things the judge asked was, were there 16 grand jurors present? Did at least 12 vote for the indictment? Walk us through, if you could, the difference, the standard between, yes, there's enough evidence here to bring charges, and later at trial, the burden that prosecutors will face.
Well, that's right. I mean, and there's different things, and in state versus federal, you have different things. We have a preliminary hearing in both of these, which is a probable cause hearing. There are lesser standards at this time. If and when this goes to a jury trial, they have to meet the highest standard, which is guilt beyond a reasonable doubt of every element of the crime that she would be convicted of, he or she was convicted of.
Because this is a one-sided, this is just the prosecutors presenting their evidence to the grand jury members. The people who this is about, in this case, the mayor and Jeffrey Vappy, do not have a chance to present their side of the story.
Absolutely not. That's correct. That is correct. What happens is the prosecutor goes in there, the old saying, you can indict a ham sandwich, you've heard that. That's because they're just pitching their side of it.
And this is video, by the way, of the prosecution team as they arrived this morning at federal court to present the case.
Jordan Ginsburg, Nick Moses, and others to go present the case to the grand jury. Now, understand, they have probably been presenting evidence and witnesses for some time to this grand jury, and today was the day. They're just wrapping things up to say, this is what we're going to present, get the signatures, and go in front of the federal magistrate.
Why do you suppose it took so long? I mean, we've been dealing with this, for justice kind of moves a little slowly, but we've been dealing with this story now for the better part of 2 years.
People have been asking me that question all the time, as if I know. There's a big...
He knows it's because it's government. It always moves slowly when it's government. If it's you, it'd have been done.
Big piece of this puzzle that is missing is all I'm going to say, because it would appear back when Vappy and Mr. Farrell were initially indicted on their separate things, they had language in it which I call a speaking indictment, which clearly implicated the mayor, clearly implicated her in a quid pro quo, and you don't do the quid without the quo. And so now we're finally getting the second shoe dropping. Why it took so long, I do not know.
Well, there have certainly been a lot of allegations against the mayor in recent years. And again, to point out, we do not know the specifics of what is in this federal indictment at this
time. I guess they were going to say we're going to cancel that and we're going to go present day. Here we are right now. What is going on?
Nearly a month after a grand jury indicted Mayor Cantrell.
It's a violation of innumerable federal criminal laws.
She's expected to make her first court appearance Wednesday for her arraignment. Cantrell is facing several charges, including conspiracy to commit wire fraud, obstruction of justice, false statements, and more. The charges allege she and her former bodyguard, Jeffrey Vappy, tried to defraud the city, engaging in personal activities while Vappy was on the clock. They allegedly cost the city $70,000 in trips.
Well, good morning.
She's made very few public appearances since the charges were announced. I asked to see the mayor's schedule, which is a public record under the law, but I was told no. The law says, quote, if the public record applied for is immediately available because of its not being in active use at the time of the application, the public record shall be immediately presented to the authorized person applying for it. I was told by the mayor's team they would have to speak with the law department. After following up, I was told I needed to submit a public records request.
It's always something, and they'll deny the public records request, or they'll put it behind a paywall.
While she tries to evade public view, the courtroom will soon demand answers. Loyola law professor Dane Ciolino says Wednesday is routine. He says after the indictment is read, Mayor Cantrell will have her first chance to respond in court.
For Mayor Cantrell then to issue a not guilty plea to all the counts of the indictment. After that, motions, deadlines will be set, a trial date will be set.
Then they'll discuss pretrial detention and bail. Ciolino says he doesn't expect the government will try to detain the mayor or set an extremely high bond. Ciolino says her travel could be restricted.
If so, liberal travel is going to be allowed by the magistrate judge if she has to go out of town and probably even out of the country.
While a trial date is expected to be set Wednesday, that date will more than likely be changed several times. With Cantrell's time in office coming to an end, Ciolino doesn't expect a trial before Cantrell's last day in office. Alyssa Curtis, WWL, Louisiana.
Bet they don't. Anyway, stop. That's where we're at with this one. Criminal.
The government will try to detain the mayor or...
Let me know what you think about it in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Also, again, 87% of people that watch these videos aren't subscribed to the channel. Click the button and we'll move along. Let me know what you think about this one, and I'm out.